Welcome to the newest installment of the Untitled Film Nerd Project. My name is Philip, and joining me as always is Teacher.
Hello.
We march on with our 5th annual 31 Days of Horror, where we watch a different horror movie every single night in October. We're on October 26th, entering the home stretch, and our movie was What Keeps You Alive. Before we get into it, spoiler warning now! If you want to avoid spoilers, skip ahead to the time code you see on the screen. Let's get right into the cast and crew rundown, one that I am really ashamed that I didn't recognize people from. So, this was written and directed by Colin Minahan. We are really well acquainted with this guy. He's also written and directed Grave Encounters, It Stains the Sands Red, and Extraterrestrial. All of those were written as the Vicious Brothers with a co-writer. And he also co-wrote Stillborn. Onto the cast. Jackie was Hannah Emily Anderson. She is in the Purge TV series and was in Jigsaw as Eleanor.
Oh, yeah.
Which surprised the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Because she's the one in Jigsaw that I complained hardcore
Yeah.
about her bad acting. I didn't think she was very good. Holy shit. She can act.
Yeah.
So, Miss Anderson, I'm sorry, I take it back. I assume it was the director. I don't know. But we've seen before, like, take Nick Cage. With the right director, if you can harness his Nick Cageism, you got something.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's what I'm assuming it was. Jules, who I'm so embarrassed, was Brittany Allen. She was in Jigsaw as Carly, It Stains the Sands Red as Molly, Extraterrestrial as April, most well-known to most people from All My Children, when she was on there for like 1 million episodes, as Marissa Chandler, Marissa Tasker. I assume she was a twin or something. I don't know. The other two people in the cast, Sarah was Martha McIsaac. She was in Last House on the Left as Paige. And Superbad as Becca. And the husband of her, Daniel, was Joey Klein. And he's been in lots of stuff, but nothing that I recognized. And I don't think I can ask if there's anybody else that I didn't get, because I think that was the entire cast.
Yeah, I think that was the entire cast.
All right, let's get into our initial thoughts. I'll let you go first.
I highly enjoyed it.
Right on.
Granted there were some slow parts, but even the slow parts served their purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was really well shot. I think there were some really smart choices. And while I thought I was going to be frustrated at the end,
Mm-hmm.
I was then very satisfied at the end.
Okay.
Yours?
I also enjoyed it, but I'm not as forgiving as you are.
Mm-hmm.
I was frustrated at the end. I think the last 20 minutes really dropped the ball on the story. I can get to that later on in my notes. But overall, my second note in my notes is this is good camera work.
Mm-hmm.
Within the first 5 minutes. We are fans of Colin's work, apparently, because Grave Encounters was really good. It Stains the Sands Red was pretty cool. We both like Extraterrestrial. So, I mean, he's 4 for 4 with us. And that's, I have some nitpicks. But overall, really well acted, really well shot. The cinematography was great. The camera work was stellar.
Yes.
Absolutely stellar. That opening shot of them walking through the house when it's following Jules around, so good. And it really just set the table for what was going to come for the main course later. But overall, it was an enjoyable watch.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get into our breakdowns?
Yes.
What was your favorite scene?
So I actually had several favorite scenes.
Oh, okay.
I think my overall favorite scene was when Jackie was cleaning up all the blood.
Mm-hmm.
Playing the piano and the black light was going.
Mm-hmm.
I just love that entire sequence. Some other things that I really liked as far as scenes. I liked the fact that after Jules had survived her initial fall,
Mm-hmm.
every time the camera was focused on Jackie, it was steady
Mm-hmm.
and calm. Every time that it switched over to Jules, it was erratic. You weren't able to see clearly,
Mm-hmm.
and it really drove home us getting some of Jules' point of view. And then 2 more
Mm-hmm.
was the initial final battle,
Okay.
where it all took place upstairs, and we didn't see it. We just saw the camera going through the room following
Mm-hmm.
them fighting upstairs. I thought that was a really smart choice and a very interesting choice.
Yeah.
And then finally, the end, when you get the reveal that Jules still got her revenge.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I said, it was very pleasant, and I was very satisfied with that.
Right on.
Yours?
My absolute favorite scene is the one you mentioned, the blacklight scene.
Mm-hmm.
That was so, like, just her playing piano, and you can see the blood all over her hands and on her face, and when she's cleaning up the axe. It's
Mm-hmm.
just, that was such a really fucking awesome scene, and I don't think we've seen one like that before.
No.
This isn't so much a favorite scene, but a favorite thing they did. They wrote Jackie like a textbook psychopath.
Yes.
And I appreciated the shit out of that. Everything, like when you talked about the camera being steady on Jackie, but erratic on Jules. It calls forward to the scene where she's doing the pulse. And she says, feel your pulse. Now feel my pulse. That's a psychopath.
Uh-huh.
They would not get rattled. And then there's things in my notes where I call back specifically to moments that she even sounded like one. She acted like one. She talked like one. She rationalized like one. She was written like a psychopath, and I thought they did a really good job on that.
Yeah, like one that comes to mind for me is just at the very beginning when Jules is confronting her about her past, and she is doing like crocodile tears.
Mm-hmm.
She does that little fake breakdown, and I'm like, that shit's fake as hell. It's almost played with, again, kudos to the actress that played Jackie, because to play that, bad acting on purpose was really good.
Right. I also had a moment where I thought something was up, and it wasn't there though, but I'll get to that when I get to my notes.
Mm-hmm.
I love the rowboat scene
Mm-hmm.
where Jules is in one boat trying to get away and Jackie's going after her in another boat. I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like the camera work on the boat scene where they're both like still in love before the shit fell off the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
It was tight camera work. It was like over Jackie's shoulder, then over Joel's shoulder. I'm like, was the cameraman in the boat with him? Because that'd be shot really, really deliberately. So kudos to the director, man. He knows what he's doing with camera work. I don't know. I probably don't have to ask, but what was your holy shit moment?
Holy shit moment. Not so much the initial Jackie being pushed over, but just even the fact that Jules being pushed over the edge, but just even the fact that Jules lived and is wandering around in the woods. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that one.
Her being pushed was my holy shit moment. Like that was, did not see that coming. I was like, whoa. I think I wrote, let me find it in my notes. I was like, holy shit, she pushed her off the edge. that was holy crap. Did not see that coming.
I just know Jackie's lucky that Jules didn't have any peyote around.
Yeah. I mean, we were skirting that line there. We were, come on, this was like what, The Crow Part 10? So, and they weren't even subtle about that. So that was like, there's other minor ones like, oh, Jules got her revenge and whatnot, but her being pushed off the edge or the cliff was just like, holy fucking shit. It's kind of like favorite scene-ish, but holy shit. Jules was telling Sarah about what happened in her ear, and you see the point of view from Jackie. Just facial expressions, and Jackie immediately went into psychopath mode. Even the conversation she had with the husband on the balcony before, like all of that was a nice little like tightly wrapped like present that unwrapped itself. And just seeing Jules' face when she realized she's been caught, and then Sarah's face when she realizes that Jackie's there, and it's like, Daniel, go, get out, come here, get out of there, run, or whatever. I was like, oh shit. And then oh shit happened. And then after that, another holy shit moment was having Jules, or making Jules, watch Jackie chop those people up. Holy shit. Yeah, it was nice. All right, if any, mediocre moment.
A lot of it is just Jules' bad decisions.
Yes, thank you. Yep.
There's just so many times where she could have done something.
She won like 4 times. That's why, like when I said the last 20 minutes really fell flat for me in some ways. Jules had this thing won 3 or 4 different times, and each time made this stupid, wrong, bad decision. And then by the time it got to like the final stuff, I'm like, I don't have any sympathy for you anymore. Anything that happens to you now is absolutely your fault.
Like at times it kind of felt like my frustration reminded me of my frustration from The Strangers.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
And to call back on one of our previous movies from 31 Days of Horror, Incident in Ghostland taught us
Mm-hmm.
you fucking fight to survive.
Yeah.
I mean, fight, use every single thing around the room as a weapon.
In fairness, though, Jackie did say that Jules' flaw was that she was too emotional.
Hmm.
So it kind of set that up. Definitely agree. I have very specific moments that I was annoyed and
Hmm.
angry. But okay, so outside of that bubble though, I didn't like the fact that okay, Jules had just been pushed off the cliff and she survived. Okay, she's crawling through the woods, and then all of a sudden, okay, she sets her arm, she like puts it back in place, but then the next couple hours later, she's like crawling really fast towards a puddle and lapping up water. Your arm's fucking broke.
Hmm.
The next day, she's rowing a fucking boat. Your arm was fucking broke.
I don't think she broke her arm. I think she had dislocated her shoulder.
Oh,
But
okay.
still, going by true, dislocating your shoulder, that shit's still going to be pretty damn useless.
Yeah, she was really, really, really hurt. We'll just blanket it with that. And the rest of
Hmm.
the movie, she was fine.
Hmm.
That bugged me a lot. Other than her really bad decision making, which I mean, if I went through all of that now, it's like half my notes. But
Hmm.
I'll get to that when I. So yeah, mediocre to be continued. TBC during notes. So stay tuned for that. If any, LOL moment.
Um, no, I can't think of anything because again, wasn't big on humor.
I made a kind of a joke for myself, like I sometimes do. When
Hmm.
she's saying that there's a demon inside, blood lets it out, or something, or whatever that song was, which is an
Hmm.
awesome song, by the way.
Yeah, to call back, I have to include that in my also in my favorite scenes
Okay.
was her singing that song and the look on her face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I wrote after that scene, well, that's a sexy first song to sing. That gets you in the mood. So that's my own self-made LOL moment. All right. Those are our breakdowns. Anything else you'd like to add? You want to go to my notes?
Just that another thing that this movie kind of reminded me of was high tension,
Mm-hmm.
but also not only high tension, but also high tension source material, Dean Koontz intensity.
Yeah, I have something in my notes about that.
Yeah, it was a very, very good cat and mouse. And at
Mm-hmm.
times during the heat of the moment, I could feel my heart racing.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I don't think it was as good of a cat and mouse though. But as I said, you like that part more than I did, so that's totally
Hmm.
fair. Totally fair. I wrote it. I said it started off like a Stephen King book, but ended like a Dean Koontz book,
Hmm.
and that's where I think my issue lies because I do like some of Dean Koontz's work, but he has
Hmm.
this tendency, in my opinion, to drop the ball on his stories too much
Hmm.
or not see them. He has some good stuff, like some really good stuff, but there's also some stuff I'm like, dude, come on, you could have made that so
Yeah.
much better. And that's kind of how I feel about this, even though this was a good movie. But I'll get into that
Hmm.
possibly now if I'm going to my notes.
Yes.
All right. Philip's notes. When they arrive at the house, she says, I know this is a fixer-upper. I'm like, that's a fixer-upper? It's like the one movie where you're like, oh, I know it's like a piece of crap. I'm like, what? What kind of houses do you people have? I will take your piece of crap house. I thought at first, because Jackie made it sound like she changed her name once she came out. You know, I
Hmm.
was Megan, but then once I came out, I found out who I was. I changed my name to Jackie because that's not who I am anymore. I was like, well, I want a gay name. Like, well, I should have changed my name when I was 16, so I should have a retroactive gay name. I thought there was some knife foreshadowing in the beginning.
Hmm.
There was that and more. And then when she says, you only kill what keeps you alive, I wrote, uh-oh. That was my first, like, uh-oh.
Yep.
That was my first clue. The, are you okay? Yep. I'm so glad I don't have to deal with that shit. Just say what the fuck is on your mind. Either speak like a fucking adult or don't be in an adult relationship. Then I wrote, fake name, doesn't tell you about her past.
Dead friend.
Yeah.
That when you question her about it, she immediately goes, I didn't kill her.
Yeah. Is that what you thought?
And I'm just kind of like, why would you say that?
Yeah, these were like all red flags. One that stuck out to me is when they were walking towards the cliff. I thought something was up when she couldn't walk through the woods and said, "Help me."
Mm-hmm.
No way. You've been hunting since you were 12 or 13 years old. You know how to walk through these fucking woods.
Yep.
You're playing helpless. I knew something was up. I didn't expect it to happen. I was still shocked. My spidey senses were tingling. I loved the Jackie's looking for Jules in the woods. That moment where Jules is hiding behind a log, and Jackie's like, "Come out, come out!" And she's obviously faking it. The moment that Jules sees Jackie faking it, and she's like, and she goes, "Fuck." The look on Jules' face when she just realizes how fucking crazy her wife is.
Yep.
That should have been up there with my favorite scenes. So that's a retroactive favorite scene. Just Jules seeing Jackie faking for the first time. It was so cool. We talk about how so many movies with a plot, we always say this could have included gay characters.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad this one did. Because
Mm-hmm.
this could easily have been a straight couple, and the man is hunting the woman down. I thought it was really fucking cool to make it a lesbian couple. And this just shows you can make a horror movie with the same kind of plot, but include gay characters, and it doesn't change the story at all, really. It's still a hunter versus hunted story.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really refreshing to see that it played out like that. I did like the scene where eventually Jules gets back to the house. She's sewing herself up and sets her finger. And then when you find out this is about insurance money, that's kind of when it went Dean Koontz to me. It's like, I wrote, I didn't hate it as much or dislike it as much later on when I saw that, holy crap. But at the time, I was like, I don't know. Loved the line when she's washing her off in the tub. Did you ever love me? No. Damn. Psychopath. Fucking psychopath.
Yep.
And then the whole scene where they're sitting in front of the fire together and Jules says, "I can get you help." And I thought, you can't plead with a psychopath. Stop it. And then she shuts her down with, "I never told you about my first wife, did I?" Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. So, oh my God. Hannah Emily Anderson played a psychopath so well.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she eventually does go after and kill Sarah, she's saying Jenny fought harder. This is when I started getting mediocre to me and bad decision making. Because I said Jules chased after her and hit her over the head. She was like on top of Sarah for a good 15 seconds.
Yep.
You grab, like you said, grab whatever the fuck you can find, and you beat the shit out of her. Sarah did not need to die in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
This is again I wrote. I like that she's a textbook psychopath when she says, "I didn't kill them, you did," absolving herself of any responsibility. It's never their fault. It's your fault.
And I loved that line between the two of them when Jules was kind of insinuating, did this have something to do with your father?
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like, no, they were happy.
Yeah,
like,
it's nature, not nurture.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm glad they avoided that trope.
Mm-hmm.
And then another moment when she says, "Eat up. I need you to have a full stomach in case they do an autopsy."
Mm-hmm.
Just, damn, just ooh. Hannah got some good lines in this movie. But then I thought, wouldn't authorities be all, "Why do your wives keep dying at your lake house?"
Yeah.
If this is wife number 6, it looks like, are they not gonna? Come on. And this goes all the way back to Jenny.
Mm-hmm.
Back all the way back to Jenny, back when you were a kid. Come on. A minor holy shit moment was when Jules found all the necklaces.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like 5 or 6 of them. Thought that was really cool. Okay, this is when it starts getting really, really, really mediocre for me. So Jules fights back with the dart, the trank dart, and gets back to the Jeep, drives away. And then she stops. I was like, why are you stopped? What, because you saw a fucking bird?
Mm-hmm.
You had your "I'm free" anger cry. Keep going. Keep the fuck going. Big mistake. Urgh. And then she goes back to try and, because that bird gave her like special anger powers, she goes back to kill Jackie, maybe. And nope, she's not there anymore. And I thought, yep, you should have just killed her and kept fucking driving.
Yep.
And then I wrote, at this point, if she wins, meaning Jackie, then it's all your fault. I didn't like her being all, "Jackie, where are you? Jackie, get out here." I'm like, yeah, call it her fucking name.
Mm-hmm.
Let her know where you're at. Come on. She's hooking up that radio for her like badass moment, which fell flat for me because I wasn't digging the last 20 minutes. I wrote, you could have just got back in the Jeep and left. I didn't like the whole her playing the music loud and posing by the window. It was a badass shot, which was the point, saying I'm here. That's basically what she's saying. Here I am. But she could be anywhere. She's a fucking hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's standing over the gun. Maybe she got back there. I don't know how she would have with the timeline, but you don't know. I don't know how long she was drive crying. I don't know. She could be pointing a gun at your head right now. And I know this is supposed to feel like the hunter and the hunted switching spots, but I'm not feeling it. She had her redemption moment and she blew it. Hannah did such a fucking good job with this role. When Jackie has the gun to her head, put your hands behind your head, get on your knees. If you noticed, Hannah looked more annoyed than scared.
Yeah.
She's just like, I thought that was a really nice touch. Again, she played a psychopath to a T.
And I wonder if the annoyance was more at herself.
Yeah, probably. Like, why am I in this position? I'm better than this. At this point, I wrote, Jules has had way too many times when she could have won. I didn't like when Jules was chasing after her and you see the attic steps, and I'm thinking, Jules, that's misdirection.
Yeah.
And then she climbs the fucking attic steps and pokes her head up. She could be right there waiting with anything. An axe, a knife, anything. It's things like this are just kind of on the movie for me. And then, as you said, I loved them not showing the fight. I think it reminded me, wasn't there a scene in... What fucking movie was that?
Thoroughbreds?
No, not just that one. No, there was a specific scene where they're in the basement and there's people upstairs fighting.
Oh, Ritual.
Yes, that one. There's that part in Ritual, I think, if I'm right, where somebody was downstairs where there's stuff going on upstairs. And they didn't show it, you could just hear it. That's what it reminded me of. A minor holy shit moment was when, right before Jackie's going to pull Jules off the cliff for a second time, Jules wakes up and says, Jackie, no! And then she gets pushed and the camera falls with her.
Yes.
And then thwack on the ground. Such good camera work. One of the tightest shots of the movie. Fucking great. Such good camera work. And then we get, as you said, the swerve. Hydrogen peroxide. Ha ha ha. And then the last 5 minutes completely fell flat for me. She runs into a black bear, and then flashbacks in her head. She shoots herself, quote unquote. And then the beginning of the movie is the end of the movie. And then the gasp as Jules still fucking alive because she's the goddamn crow. And then it ends with that awesome song. So those are all for my notes. There's probably other little things I missed, but those are the majority bulk of what I wrote. Anything else you'd like to add? You want to go to final thoughts?
I will say that, what's the actress's name that played Jules?
Brittany Allen.
The short hair works for her.
I didn't recognize her at all. I was like, you are cute.
Yeah.
I was like, dang. I was
like, that hair really works with her. Stick with the short hair.
Yeah, I was like, you are a cute lesbian. I was like, oh my god, you were Carly and you were Molly. Oh my, I did not recognize her at all. Like, even now, I'm just like, you're the same fucking person? Because she looks so different with short hair. Wow.
It did take me a moment, but as I was looking, I was like, oh, it's her.
Yeah, over my head. I can see Carly now. But Molly, I'm just like, man, okay, all right. Because even when I was looking up the cast for IMDb and I saw the pictures from the movies, I'm looking real close. All right, if you say so, IMDb.
But yeah, Jackie, I didn't recognize at all.
Yeah, and I remember I fucking roasted her ass from Jigsaw.
Yes.
So I apologize. I don't apologize for that because that was a shit movie. But you can fucking act. So I apologize for saying that you can't act. All right, anything else or final thoughts?
Just I guess one more thing. Just saying that as far as the director goes, kudos to him because we've seen most of his movies and if not all of them, and it's been a very good progress. It just keeps getting better each time.
Yeah. Because Grave Encounters was really good, like found footage kind of stuff. Extraterrestrial, for the movie it was not bad. It Saints of Sans Red was an awesome fucking idea.
Yes.
And it's birthed more than one meme. And now this, I think we've seen all of his movies, and so far, as I said, he's 4 for 4. So definitely interested in what he does next. Final thoughts?
Final thoughts.
All right, I'll let you go first.
I can totally recommend this to pretty much anybody. Really good, really intense, and very well acted, and remarkably well shot. And yeah, I enjoyed it.
I concur, even though the last 20 minutes didn't do it for me, and there was moments before that kind of maybe go, from the way they wrote Jules. Everything else was on point. The acting was on point. So on point. The camera work was completely on point. This is one of those movies where it's not about a lesbian couple. It's just a movie that happens to have a lesbian couple.
Yes.
I think that's when you've done it correctly. When it's happenstance. It's not, well, there's a lesbians, and now here's, it's just like, okay, well, here's this thing's happening, and it happens to include lesbians.
Mm-hmm.
A lesbian couple that's married and celebrating their anniversary. Kudos to Colin for writing it that way, and for having the balls to write it that way. And kudos to the actresses for delivering. They legit felt like an actual married couple. And so, yeah, much respect across the board for our people being represented in such a positive way.
Yes.
And a movie that could have been written very cliche. I would definitely recommend this to almost anybody. Thumbs up again from me to Colin. You did it again, sir. So I cannot wait to see what you do next, because you are really fucking good at what you do.
Yes.
And the fact that you wrote this yourself, it wasn't co-written with your friend as the Vicious Brothers. He wrote this himself. This is his movie. Much respect. Much respect. That takes care of final thoughts. But before we go, as it pertains to what keeps you alive, what did we learn?
I learned once again, just don't go into the woods.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. I learned that if you fucking win.
Yes.
If you escape, run. This movie could have ended a half hour sooner. Not complaining, but I'm just saying, like, just if you've won, you've won. Win. Take your prize and go home. Well, that wraps up day 26. Thank you for listening. If you have seen what keeps you alive, tell us what you thought of the movie in the comments below. If you like the video, please hit the like button. Share it with your friends or cool people who might dig the Fizzcast. And please subscribe to the channel, including hitting that notification bell to stay up to date on the newest content. Speaking of, for day 27, we'll be watching the movie The Dark, which has been on your radar for some time.
Yes.
So until tomorrow, once again, my name is Philip.
And I'm TJ.
And we'll return then to talk about The Dark. Goodbye.
Bye.